Okay, so yeah, so this Titanic conspiracy. The whole conspiracy is that there was enough room on this door that this fat chick was stuck on, and that Leo DiCaprio had to fucking fall off. And that's it. And that's everything. But look, after rereading about this Titanic conspiracy, there's not a lot here. There's really not a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of stuff that I didn't write down, but even if you put everything if you write everything down, it's still not that much stuff. It's still just kind of like a whisper in the wind. It's just kind of like fucking, it's not the greatest conspiracy. It's about as fucking solid as Birds Aren't Real, in my opinion. Okay, so Titanic conspiracy. Okay, so we'll just cover this. This is fact so far. The Titanic was a British passenger liner operated by the White Star Line that sank in the North Atlantic Ocean on April 15th, 1912, after striking an iceberg during her maiden voyage from Southampton to New York City. Of the estimated 2,224 passengers and crew on board, more than 1,500 died, making the sinking at the time the deadliest of a single ship. Captain Edward Smith went down with the ship. Some passengers consisted of the wealthiest people in the world. The first class section had a gym, swimming pool, library, and multiple high-class restaurants. Fucking nice. It had the capacity to carry 48 lifeboats. However, for this maiden voyage, it was only carrying 20. The carried lifeboats were enough for about 1,200 people. However, at the time of sinking, the lifeboats were only about half full. Took about 3 hours to sink. 2 hours after sinking, the RMS Carpathia arrived and took aboard 705 people from the lifeboats. The final survivor, who was 2 months old at the time of the sinking, died in 2009. She was 97. So no more living survivors. 2-month-old baby survived that shit. That's pretty fucking badass, in my opinion.
That is pretty badass.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is the stuff that a lot of people don't know, because it wasn't in the fucking James Cameron, Kate Winslet flick. Okay, so Titanic was a part of 3 ships built by White Star Lines. The other 2 were named Olympic and Britannic. The Olympic and the Titanic were identical, okay? So the Olympic and the Titanic were 99.9% identical, and they were built side by side in like a shipyard. The Olympic finished a year before the Titanic and was put out to sea while the Titanic still had a year of being built. So in 1911, the Olympic got in an accident. It was on its way to America, and a ship called the HMS Hawk, which was a Royal Navy ship, ran into it and put 2 holes on the side of it and fucked up the propeller shaft as well. The Olympic didn't sink. It was able to limp back to port, which helped play into this whole unsinkable theory for these ships. Okay, so then after that happened and it got back to the shipyard where it was built, it pulled back in next to the Titanic for repairs. Now that this Navy ship fucking fucked it up. 2 big holes in the side, fucked up the propeller shaft. Giant disaster. After insurance investigations, because now they had all these legal investigations, insurance investigations, all this shit, who's to blame, try to figure out who's to blame, they found the guilt was on the Olympic, not the Navy ship. They said the Olympic's large size basically created too much suction and sucked the Hawk into it, and that the Olympic should have not been that close to other ships. It wasn't like, they were saying it wasn't navigating the waters properly. It was getting too close to other shit, and they don't know how to really drive around a ship this size, and I guess the fucking suction of it just sucked this Navy ship into it and just put a giant hole into it. 2 giant holes. The Hawk, being a Navy ship, its bow was built to basically be able to ram ships and sink them. So it's a fucking tough little tank. So a legal battle took place over who to blame. Since they blamed the Olympic, White Star Lines was left with massive legal bills and the full cost of repairs for a ship that hadn't made them any money yet. So in order to repair the ship, White Star Line took parts from the Titanic, like a propeller shaft, a bunch of other shit, because the Titanic wasn't even done. They just took the parts and bolted them onto the Olympic to sort of expedite the process of getting it back out to make money. Then, February 1912, the Olympic was on its way to America again, and it suffered another setback when she lost a propeller blade. It just fell off. It had to limp back to port again, back to the shipyard. In order to repair, they once again took parts from the Titanic. Each time, this kept delaying the Titanic's maiden voyage. So now you have the Olympic that has lost a fucking massive amount of money and been through all these repairs, and the Titanic that's still brand new, okay? So you got to remember that. The Olympic is all patched together, and the Titanic is brand spanking new. So the Titanic's ultimate owner was a guy named J.P. Morgan, and through like company after company after company, the top of all the companies, it was J.P. Morgan. The head of White Star Lines was Bruce Ismay. These guys were known as ruthless businessmen. Like, they weren't in the business of White Star Lines because they loved fucking sailing or whatever, or boating or whatever you call it. They were there just to make business. This is just a fucking money. They just want the money. And they do anything to make money. So by what they did, the conspiracy is, what they did is they swapped the names of the ships. They took the Titanic off the Titanic, take the Olympic off the Olympic, flipped them. And then, as the story goes, they flipped like menus and dinner plates and whatever. These ships, most of the logos inside the ships just said White Star Line, so it wasn't that much to do. Allegedly. So by swapping of the names of the ships, what they could then do was sink the Olympic and get a full insurance payout for like a brand spanking new ship. And the Titanic could then sail around the world for years making money, since it was brand new already. So J.P. Morgan had publicly promised to be on the Titanic's maiden voyage, but he canceled at the last minute. 55 of the wealthiest first-class passengers canceled at the last minute as well. The Titanic, quote-unquote, or maybe the Olympic, went out and hit an iceberg, on its way to America, which was not the plan. That was not the plan that they had. But the Titanic, quote-unquote, didn't send out an SOS until 30 minutes after impact. The Olympic was taken apart and sold for scrap in 1935 after completing 257 trips from Britain to New York, traveling a total of 1.8 million miles. The Olympic, which might have been the Titanic. I think what the plan was to torch it. I think the plan, because since that other boat got there, that other ship got there in like an hour and a half or 2 hours, I think the plan was to call that ship, have them meet you, and then take the 20 lifeboats, and they only had 20 because they thought that they were gonna make multiple trips, dropping people off to the other ship, and then light it on fire and let it sink. Because I think at that time, your thought process would be, out of sight, out of mind. If we can sink this thing to the bottom of the Atlantic, no one's ever going to find it. They didn't find it until 1985. So in 1912, no one's ever going to find it. As long as the ship goes down, it's gone. And then they get the full insurance payout. However, you don't really have any fucking real hard facts. It's all kind of just, maybe they did that. Apparently, the most common case of fraud when it comes to marine life or marine boating is simply just swapping ship names and sinking it.
That makes sense. But I would argue, I just wouldn't assume that'd be easy to, it's not like you'd be like, you're the owner of this company. It's not like you could just go in after hours, flip on the lights, go fucking chisel the name off of it and go put it on the other one. You're dealing with a fucking boat that's goddamn gigantic. So it's yeah, it's not like you can just like hide it. You're not like in a shop. You're in a fucking, someone's going to notice something's going on. You know what I mean? Like there's at least got to be 20 people in on it. You know what I mean?
So, and a couple other things too. So the thing was, when the Olympic was trying to sail to America, and or whatever you call it. I don't know what you call it. Obviously, they don't have fucking sails. When they was trying to sail to America, and the propeller blade just flew off into the ocean, and then it went back for repairs again. They said that's when you have the chance to flip it, because it pulls back up next to the Titanic, and you have like a weekend to do this flip of names. And then after that is when the Titanic was like done or whatever. And then another thing, these ships were built in Belfast, Ireland. So they're like, and they're built by like 15,000 like construction workers or whatever. Yeah. It's like, you know how hard it would be for the Irish to keep a secret after a couple pints, like on Friday night? They'd be like, no, we switched the names or whatever like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is the only way you'd get away with it is if only like 2 people knew.
Right.
And the ship's so big, there's no way. There's no way you'd get away with it. Someone would be like, even if you like, yeah, like it would just, there's too many things. I would assume, I'm no fucking shipbuilder, but it's such a big ordeal. Like, let's say you even got away with like starting to switch the names. Someone's going to come in, you know, the foreman's going to come in for this company, or like multiple foremans are going to come in, and they're going to be like, something's weird here. You know what I mean? Like, why is that ship on the other side of the dock right now? You know what I mean? They're like, oh no, we did it last night. Like, you fucking picked up a ship and backed it out and put it in this side? Like, no, you didn't. You know what I mean? Then you'd have to convince a few people there. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've worked on big jobs. You don't just go in the middle of the night and switch some shit over without at least 20, 30 people being like, something's weird. You know what I mean? Something's weird. Like, I left my fucking screwdriver over in the Titanic last night, and then this morning it's over in the Olympic. You know what I mean? Like, there's something weird's going on over here. Like,
yeah. And then two other things. They said that so they said that, you know, okay, boom, the Olympic goes back for repairs again, and then the Titanic's brand new, ready for its maiden voyage. Usually a ship inspection would take 4 days by like government officials or whatever to inspect that entire ship and say that it's seaworthy. And the inspection for the Titanic was done before lunch on the first day. They did it in like 3 hours. And they said they did that because they had already seen its identical counterpart. They'd already walked through and inspected that, and they said, oh, the ship's exactly the same. They didn't go down to the engine rooms. They didn't fucking go below deck. They just did like a lap and said, call it. And then, which could have been at that time, they could have been standing on the Olympic, you know, instead of the Titanic. And then what happened was, when they had 705 survivors, they took them to New York, I think, from the lifeboats. They then, like, White Star Line officials and shit like that, like, quarantined them all in, like, a giant fucking place and took, like, mugshots of each survivor, which was nowhere near anything that should have happened. So people were like, maybe they just did that for, like, blackmail. Maybe they had a conversation with all these people saying, like, oh, you didn't see anything weird. But I think the fact that it hit an iceberg and it sank and a bunch of people died is like, so who cares really what they did, what ship you were on, you know?
Yeah, no, totes. I'm not into it. There's nothing there.
Who knows?
Conspiracy theory. I hate conspiracy theorists. It's so ridiculous. Who knows? Conspiracy theory people just get to go around and just throw wild accusations around, and like, it's just at a certain point it gets so ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I'm not into it.
Like Obama has a clone or something, but it's like, oh god damn it, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so even to the ships were so identical. That's the problem. They should have made a ship that was different. Because the thing is, the ships are so identical, even to this day, people have pictures of them, or like a postcard or some poster somewhere, or an image online that says like, this is the Titanic, but an expert can look really close and be like, that's actually the Olympic. This photo got labeled wrong. Like, there's so much evidence from back then, from the stuff and like newspaper articles and stuff like that, where everybody got the ships wrong. So they were just identical ships, which makes the theory of you could have easily swapped them and because
I
you were
wouldn't
strapped
throw.
for cash.
I wouldn't throw the word easy, but you could have swapped them.
You could have swapped. You were strapped for cash.
I think that I really am gonna lean on. It's too big of a thing to just willy nilly just switch, just go over and peel the nameplate off and go put it on another one. Like, there's just no way. Yeah.
It's like a license plate. You just fucking rip
So
it
wait,
off.
isn't there one? So wait a second. No. This is all bullshit. Because think about this. The Titanic sinks, which is the Olympic now. Like, there's still another ship intact, like alive and well and sitting in port.
Yeah.
So you'd real easily be able to tell which, because you have all this documented shit. The ship fell off. You've done all this repair work on a ship. If one ship is there, you'd be able to tell, no, this isn't the ship. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, and they used that ship for their investigations of what went wrong and shit like that. They used the one that was still up.
Inevitably someone's going to notice something's up. Like, didn't this ship get ran into by another boat? Didn't the propeller fall off? Like, there's going to be telltale signs that, you know what I mean? It's not going to be brand new again.
No, because the one that got ran into sank.
Yes, but now a perfectly good boat is sitting in port with no damages on it.
No damage.
And they're like, wait, what didn't a boat run into this? Like, wouldn't there be like welding marks and stuff that wasn't factory? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
No, it's a dumb fucking conspiracy theory. Dumb as shit.
You
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, so now not only are you saying, so even if you're going to continue with this like conspiracy theory, then you're also saying that you're smarter than all investigators afterwards. Because you don't think if that was a hint at all, you don't think an insurance company is going to hire someone to go look into your shit when they have to pay for a fucking, boat that size. They're going to get in and they're going to be like, whoa. No. This is not the right boat. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit what it says on that side. Why is the fucking hole in perfect brand new tack? You know what I mean? Like, this boat never got ran into. This is the wrong boat.
Question.
We're looking at the wrong boat.
Yeah.
I broke that conspiracy theory in a heartbeat. I broke that conspiracy theory.
Look,
if you can,
there's experts that are working on this conspiracy theory as we speak.
I bet.
So I'm just saying, there's documentaries that have been made. I'm just saying, hey, you're probably right. Like, I don't believe it necessarily, but I think that there's a small percentage chance that that's what they did.
No, now that I've thought about this, 0% chance. When people start losing massive amounts of money, they're going to make sure that they're fucking, you know what I mean? You don't just set your house on fire and like, oh my God, it just burnt down with a match. No, an insurance company is going to be like, what the fuck happened here? You know what I mean? I ain't paying out no fucking $200,000 to build a new house unless I know for fucking sure that we're fucking covered. And you think with a big boat, they're just like, just give them the money, fuck it. You know what I mean? Let's just it's all right. You know what I mean? I believe them, No, they're going to be like, I don't know how much money it would cost to build a new boat like that, but I'm assuming if it's 15,000 people, even if you're paying $1 a day, that's a fucking shitload of money. Like, that is astronomical amounts of money to build a boat like that. So an insurance company's not just going to willy-nilly, the boat's gone? Well, shit, we can't do any, it's gone. It's going to be like, well, let's go look at this other boat. Let's go look at let's go talk to some people. They probably interrogated all the fucking, all the workers and shit like that. Like, hey, what happened on this boat? I don't know.
Look, I'm sure they thought of that. When they said, like, hey, we're going to go sink this boat and light it on fire, I'm sure they thought someone's going to have questions and want to see this other one. It's sister ship. So I don't know. I'm sure these cutthroat businessmen, these fat cats down in Washington, I'm sure they would have thought of that.
Okay.
I'm trying to find out how much it cost to build the Titanic.
Boom. Yeah, I don't like this conspiracy theory. They didn't think it out very well. They didn't think it out because they didn't think of that. Oh,
so it said that the cost to build it was $7.5 million.
Yeah, which in today's money, that's probably
$200 million.
Yeah, $200 million or something like that.
Yeah, that's a
So
lot.
yeah, that's a lot of money. An insurance company isn't just gonna willy nilly fucking start paying stuff out like that.
Yeah, who knows?
Ah, who knows?
Who knows? That old lady threw that fucking diamond necklace into the ocean, and she could have kept it. What good is it going to do down there at the bottom of the ocean? You old prostitute
Whoa,
lady.
whoa, whoa.
Whatever. You know? Keep it. Sell it. Throw it off. So romantic and symbolic, I guess.
Yeah.
Fucking
Is that a
Hollywood.
true story? Is that true? Did that actually happen or
I have no idea. Uh, I have no clue. Oh, god damn it. Yeah. Oh, and then it said that the movie Titanic, was the first movie that launched the disaster film genre. And I was like, huh, all right, that makes sense, I guess, of disaster films. Like, I remember that San Andreas movie with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, where, like, all of California, the San Andreas Fault opened up. And
that was the first movie like
the
that?
Titanic. Yeah. To launch the disaster film genre. And then I think that movie 2012, I think you would call that a disaster film too.
Mm-hmm.
None of these movies are very good.
I'm trying to think of an older movie that can't be the first
That's what it
disaster
said.
movie. Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
There's no good disaster movies, but I guess Titanic was the first one.
Titanic's a goddamn good movie.
What, Titanic?
Yeah, I love Titanic.
Oh,
You don't like the Titanic?
it's okay.
Oh my god.
You know?
Brad's such a hater.
It's long.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
I do like Kate Winslet.